Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. I am in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Van Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee in the 75th Anniversary Edition. The 75th Anniversary Edition provides some super unique styling in the Grand Cherokee lineup, so let's go ahead and check it out. First thing you might notice on the 75th Anniversary Edition is these kind of like a bronze color, dark 18-inch alloy wheels, and you have four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid in the back. The name of this color is Bright White Clear Coat, and you see in here in the front that it's accented with a gloss black as well as kind of a bronze color here on the grille, with all 7 slots representing all 7 continents that Jeep has been on. You can see even the Jeep name is in that same color. You also have the tow hooks here at the bottom in the same color. But definitely is a contrast as far as styling here in the front, just with the colors, with the gloss black there in the center grille, really stands out from the other vehicles. So the headlights are powered by halogen bulbs, and they are projector beams for the low beam and reflector for the high beam. You also have projector halogen fog lights here at the bottom. You can see it has the anniversary badging here on the side in that same color, that's kind of like a bronze color, as well as the Grand Cherokee name here on the side of the door. So this is what the proximity key fob looks like. You have the lock and unlock button, panic button here, physical key on the inside in case you need it. But generally you can keep this in your pocket and you can use the vehicle without actually taking it out of your pocket. Walking up to the vehicle with the key in your pocket or nearby, you can see that the vehicle is locked, but if I want to unlock it, I could of course use the key, but all I could do is just put my hand behind the handle. It senses the key, it senses my hand position, and it unlocks the door. I can always relock it by pushing this button. Let's take a look here on the inside of the passenger door. Really striking gloss ebony wood across the sides here. That really catches your eye, as well as that bronze colored French stitching here in the door as well. Soft to the touch surfaces all around your arm there. Then you have your door lock controls, power windows, and a little place to put some change or whatever. Bottle holder, and it's large size, so you can put like a really big bottle there, and then you have a storage compartment there. So here's your threshold, manual adjusted seats here on the passenger side, same bronze colored stitching in a French design here on the cloth seats. You also have a textured mesh here in the center. Very comfortable cloth seats, and I really like the color too. Really brightens up the interior with the kind of like a tan accented color. You see you have that gloss black ebony wood there on the dash as well, looking really sharp. Lockable glove compartment with a felt lining, and also a little compartment up here for putting your manual or whatever. Pretty good size glove compartment as well. So you have the privacy glass back here, help keeping the sun from shining on you, but also keeping people from looking in, and it gives you a nice reflection. So let's go ahead and look on the inside of the back. So there's the inside of the back door. Same styling with the stitching, the soft to the touch features, and the wood, gloss wood there as well, so that's pretty cool. Bottle holder. Okay, so the front seat's all the way back, so you can get an idea of the very bare minimum amount of legroom you'll have. You have a little bit of a hump there in the center, so the center passenger is going to have to deal with that, but it's not too bad. You have the net pockets, and also you have the plastic on the back of the front seats. That helps out with the durability and ease of, you know, cleaning it and stuff like that. So you have some climate control vents there. So basically you have a bench seat with the same styling as the front as far as the mesh, the stitching, and all that good stuff. You also have a center armrest with some cup holders. You can move that out of the way, of course. Now the seats will fold down in a 60-40 split fashion. So you just lift this lever right there and it kind of folds down, and you want to make sure that the headrest goes down like so, and that way you can utilize some more cargo space, which we'll check out the kind of give you a view of the whole thing here in a minute. And check this out. This is very important. There's your anchor for your car seat. So you can see your latch system has an anchor, and this is the anchor for the car seat. This is not. So you just want to make sure, because when the seat's up, this flap covers it up and you can't really tell that there's this anchor there. So you want to pay attention to that. Even the roof rails have that color, that bronze color accent there on the sides. So let's go ahead and take a look here in the back. You see it has LED, a combination of LED taillights with the regular bulbs. Has the rear windshield wiper. You have parking sensors across the back. Those are little round circles there. You have a single exhaust to allow for the V6 to breathe. Backup cameras right here. Now I want to point out something. This vehicle has not been through the service department to do something. This right here is a mistake, and the dealerships are kind of the last line of quality control, so they noticed that and they're going to take that off. But I got a chance to get the vehicle before they did, so I just want to point out that that will be taken off. This is a two-wheel drive Grand Cherokee. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up. You can also see that the Jeep name back here is that same bronze color. So right up here is a little button. You just push it and you lift it up here, and it has plenty of clearance as far as standing under it. I'm 6 feet tall and there's still another inch or two above my head. You can see I have the lights on the inside, 2 lights on the inside of the liftgate there. So here's your cargo area. Pretty good size, a really big cargo area behind the second row seat. You see it has this little storage bin there on the right, 12-volt power supply, grocery bag hangers. You can also add a shade if you wanted to back here, of course. So you have some tie downs here, storage place. You also have a LED flashlight right in here, so you can use that if you want to. It's charging until you need to use it. Just kind of mounted right there. All right, so under here is really cool. You have this lifts up and you have this little hook right here, so you can hook it up and hold it out of your way. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so there's your spare tire and tools, but you also have these little plastic bins here that's removable. So you can take them out, dump them, put it back in, and you can kind of utilize that space for cargo. And it kind of gets it out of the way. You know, just some junk that you want to put in there, like say you're on a trip, you know how things accumulate. You can kind of put it in there out of the way. Of course, you can use the space around the spare tire if you need to, but it's a full-size spare tire, so that's really good. Okay, so you can see the back seats are split right there. That's the 60-40 split, and you can fold down one or the other or both, and that way you can have a extra large cargo capacity, or you can have a combination of cargo and passenger space depending on your needs. So once you fold the seats down, it's going to be massive back here. You can really fit just about anything in the back of this vehicle, so that's really handy. Fuel doors on the driver's side, which is super convenient, and it's a lockable door. You can go and open it up and check it out. No cap to worry about. You can just go ahead and put the nozzle in, pump your gas, you're good to go. Now you need to use a funnel that's provided in with the spare tire to use a gas can, but how often do you use that? There's a little seal right here, so that's pretty cool. So to start it up, you just have to have the key inside somewhere. It can be in your pocket or whatever. Put your foot on the brake and push this button. So here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mats are kind of snap in with these little snaps right here, so that way they don't move around on you and get in the way. Your accelerator and brake pedal right there. You have a place to put your left foot just back in here, and then you have a foot actuated parking brake. Plenty of leg room, by the way, and knee room and everything. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a little latch under here, just underneath this P. You just move it's down at the bottom, so you just get it and move it more towards the center, and you lift up the hood, and it goes up the rest of the way by itself after just a few inches. Okay, so it's covered up in plastic, but there is a V6 under here. It's a 3.6 liter V6 with 295 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to a really awesome 8-speed automatic transmission. And if you haven't experienced the 8-speed then you probably won't know what I'm talking about. So you have to take one for a test drive. It runs out really good. You see, you have the installation on the firewall there for noise reduction, and everything's pretty much tucked away and organized well. You also have color-coded, places to check your stuff, say your washer fluid there and your oil, and then you have your positive battery post right here. Let's take a look on the inside of the driver's door, which is very similar to the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have door lock controls, power window controls, and your side mirror adjustments right here. Now let me go ahead and show you. These are one touch up and down glass, so they go up and down, but also in addition to that, they are acoustic glass. So hopefully the camera's picking it up. You have 2 panes of glass with an acoustic material on the inside there, so that way it kind of keeps outside noise from vibrating the outside glass and making its way on the inside. So you have a power seat here on the driver's side with powered lumbar support, a 4-way power lumbar support. And right in here is your headlight controls. You have automatic, off, parking lights, and headlights, and you turn on your fog lights by pushing this button. There's a dimmer switch for your interior gauges. We already saw the release for the fuel door there. The steering column is a tilt and telescoping steering column, and it goes quite a ways to really get that just right spot. And then once you get it in place, you just lock it in place with this lever there. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look here on the inside. Really impressed by that gloss wood. That looks really impressive. So I have the seat all the way back, and really it's just too much room for me. So I could put my feet straight out, and plenty of knee room all the way around. So, even for a tall person, they shouldn't have any problem driving this vehicle. Okay, so before we get started on the interior features, let's take a quick peek at the window sticker. Of course, you can use the pause button if you want to read it in detail. Just want to show it to you. So you can see it has the 75th anniversary package, and basically that's all the stuff that comes with it right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here on the steering wheel. So you already saw this, a tilt and telescoping, but it is a leather wrap steering wheel, and it is super comfortable and has perfect thickness, and it's thick as can be. I mean, some steering wheels are a little bit thin. This one has a good thickness, so it doesn't dig into your hands or anything like that. Okay, so on the steering wheel, it has quite a few buttons on the front and the back. Okay, so here in the front is your cruise control. You can turn it on and off there, set it with either one of those buttons, change your speed, resume, and cancel there. But behind the steering wheel, you have these paddle shifters. See the plus and minus? Those allow you to, cycle through the gear ratios, the 8 gear ratios, manually, in case you need to do that. But just below those is this little toggle switch and a center button. And the one on the right, there's one on both sides. The one on the right is your volume up and down, so you can adjust your volume here. And the center portion, you can push that, and it cycles through AM, FM, and your satellite radio. So it cycles through your input there. On the left side, on the back of the steering wheel, it goes up and down to change through your radio stations, and then the center button will cycle through your presets. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so here on the left side, you also have your Bluetooth controls. So once you pair your Bluetooth phone with the system, you can answer calls, make calls, hang up there. You can also use the voice recognition system to change the radio station and all kinds of cool stuff. So it's something you want to learn how to do, because that way you can keep your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road while you're staying productive, calling people, adjusting the radio, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so these buttons correspond with the screen here in the center of the gauges, which we'll get to in just a second. So you have your windshield wiper controls for your front and rear right there. So your gauges, you have your RPMs here on the left, And on the right, you have your engine coolant temperature here and your fuel gauge. But right here in the center, this portion here is just a big digital screen. And this is all customizable, so you can change your, this is outside temperature, absolutely awesome day. And then your compass, digital compass, so vehicles facing, it says north. I guess they haven't calibrated it yet because that's not accurate. So once they calibrate it, it will be accurate. Okay, so you have your odometer there at the very bottom, but check it out, big digital speedometer there in the center. And looking good, right? You can always change that to an analog style by pushing this right arrow here on the screen. I mean on the steering wheel here, and it changes to look like that. So you can change it back and forth. Okay, and you'll notice these little icons here on the left. Now if you scroll down, it'll show you this is the next screen down. So I'm changing my icon, and it shows your tire pressure on each tire. Now if I scroll to the right, this is the vehicle info screen. So you can see these little round circles there at the bottom showing you that there's more screens that I can look at. Transmission temperature, oil pressure, oil life, battery voltage, and it scrolls back to your tire pressure. Scrolling down, this is your fuel economy. So it basically has a bar there as you're driving, and it'll give you an average and a range. Scrolling down again, this is your trips. You have two of them, one there and there, and it has your miles per gallon, and your time, which is pretty neat. And this one has the start-stop feature. If you're not familiar with that, it'll actually turn the engine off while you're sitting at a stop sign or stop light for too long. So that kind of helps save gas. And the second that you lift your foot off of the brake, it will instantly turn the engine back on, so you don't have to worry about that. No hesitation. Scrolling down again will show you what your radio is doing. Stored messages will be right here. And this is where you'll be able to set up this screen and change the things there on the corner. And it scrolls back to your speedometer. Now if you have it in this mode, the information will show up in the center. Isn't that cool? So you can have, both. Okay, so that's kind of a quick rundown of the screen there in the center. You don't have to go in there and check it all the time, but it's there in case you need it. Okay, so here is your center stack. Looking pretty good with the chrome accent, the bronze color there, the shiny gloss wood around there. But here's the 8.4 inch touchscreen, and it's very easy to use. You can see you have icons across the bottom which will remain there the whole time you're using it. The very first one is your radio. You have AM, FM, satellite radio, presets across the top, and you have, this pretty neat screen which tells you what's playing or whatever. You can also adjust your audio. Speed adjusted volume is pretty cool. Okay, so the next icon is your media. So you can play music through the radio, but also USB port with like a little flash drive, auxiliary input, which pretty much anything. Bluetooth audio, which is paired wirelessly through your phone or other device, and an SD card input. And it'll play MP3 files only, from what I understand. Okay, so click that, and then you have your heated seats here on the front. Also heated steering wheel, so even though they're cloth seats, they're still heated. And the heating steering wheel is absolutely amazing in the wintertime. And then there's all kinds of settings that you can, go in there and adjust if you need to. Too many to go over in detail. All right, there's your controls. You also have your auto dimming rear view mirror, which you can turn on and off there. Apps. This gives you a whole slew of different controls. iHeartRadio. Your phone, you can pair up to 6 phones if you need to. You can also make this vehicle a Wi-Fi hotspot. Yelp information there. So lots of different things that you can quickly access in the app screen. And then the climate control, this is a digital version. You also have a regular, knob and buttons down here as well. But you have your temperature on each side, so you can adjust them independently, or you can sync them, so now they're both the same. Your air conditioning, recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters, fan speed, you can adjust that, where you want the air to blow there in the center. You can always push this button to turn your screen off, so in case this is just distracting you and you don't want it on, all you have to do is touch it again and it'll turn back on if you need it. And then you have your phone. So once you pair your phone with the system, you have like a caller ID screen there, favorites there at the top. You have access to your phone book, recent calls on your actual phone that's saved, and you can always transfer it back to your cell phone in case you want to have a private call. And don't we all? Okay, so at the very top, you notice it has the time, the temperature of this, the set temperature for the climate control, and then you have your outside temperature. It's really easy to set the clock too. You just push the clock and you can adjust it right in here. Okay, so let's look down here. You have a pretty traditional volume and tune through the stations there. Screen off button in case you want to turn the screen off. That's another way of doing it. And then you have a back button, certain screens you can go back out of. Four-way flashes are here. And your temperature, fan speed, and you can have your defrosters there. Air conditioning, stuff like that is here down here as well. Okay, so you have these buttons here. This is your parking sensors. So when you put it in reverse, it's going to activate your parking sensors, which will beep if you get close to something. You can turn that off if you need to. You can also turn off the start-stop feature so it doesn't stop when you're at a stop light for too long. Eco, you can turn that. It's automatically on, but you can turn it off if you need to. It'll automatically turn off when you put sport mode on. So when you put sport mode on, it's going to tell the vehicle that you want performance over fuel economy, so that way you'll get the maximum performance the vehicle is capable of. And then you can turn traction control off if you need to spin tires, and like say if you're stuck in the mud or snow, you can spin tires to get out. You would need to turn off traction control. Okay, so right in here is this little compartment, and it's felt lined, and you can put some stuff in there. But also you'll see it has this 12-volt power supply, SD card, USB, and auxiliary inputs. But check it out, they're backlit. You got to check out my night video, it's really cool. Cup holders are also backlit right there. So here's your shifter. Now the 2016 model has more of a traditional shifter. The previous models had a little bit of a different electronic shifter. This is still electronic except for it's just more traditional. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse. So you can see the backup camera here with the grid lines, which will move as you turn the steering wheel. So you can see what they look like there. And it also has a screen up here reminding you that the parking sensors are active. Now if something moves back there, if you get close to something, it'll actually beep, but also it'll show you on the screen exactly where the item or the object is. Okay, so let's go down to neutral. Drive, this is your normal drive position. Now you can cycle through the gears with the paddle shifters if you want, like so, and it'll tell you what gear you're in. See, this is at 2 right there, we're in second gear. It's not going to let me go in 8th gear just sitting here, but you can cycle through the gear ratios just by pushing the paddle shifters. Now if you accidentally push your paddle shifter, you can always push and hold the plus and it goes back in the drive. Now if you want to manually shift through the gears with the shifter, you just move it over here to this manual mode and you can bump it up and down sort of like a ratchet shifter. So that's pretty neat. This little felt lined compartment here to put some stuff. It's really handy to put your key if you don't want to have it in your pocket. And here's your center armrest, and check out the bronze stitching right here, and it's pretty good size, soft to the touch, very soft, nice and comfortable for your arm. It's big enough to share with your passenger, so don't worry about that fighting over it or whatever. So here in the front you have 2 buttons, a small one and a big one. The small one opens up a small compartment, and it's felt lined. It has a little place for wires to go in and out of, so that way you can put some stuff. It also has this little place here to put a little tissue box or whatever on the inside of the lid. Now the larger button will open up the large compartment. So you can see this is much larger. It also has a felt lining as well and a 12-volt power supply in there. Now you can see the 12-volt power supply has a little battery. This is showing you that it's always on. So you can actually charge your cell phone or something while you're going to the store, and it's not going to turn off when you turn the ignition off. So that's pretty handy. Okay, so the rearview mirror is auto dimming now. It's an auto dim rearview mirror, and the reason why it's auto dimming is because I have a shade over the light sensor back here. You also have these buttons. You have the assistance button and 911. This is to communicate with roadside assistance, or if you just need help with a radio or whatever, you can push that button, and this has its own cellular connection. So you don't have to worry about, even if you don't have your cell phone with you, you're able to talk to the an operator or whatever that's knowledgeable about the vehicle. Now this will actually dial 911. So when you push that button, you have about 10 seconds before it will actually dial 911, and you can always cancel it here on the screen. So this is a really good safety feature. You don't have to try to dig out your phone. If you need 911, you just push that button, and you can actually talk to them through the Bluetooth type system. So you just start talking to them. So that's a really good safety feature. All right, so here's a place to put your shades, and it's kind of like has this foam insert there to protect them. So you have these tap lights. This is more of a floodlight on each side, and if you need more of a spotlight, you just push that button and it kind of gives you a more focused beam. So the visors have mirrors and lights on both sides, and they also extend out, so you can slide them out like so and just kind of get that right spot. There's a black headliner, which is looking pretty cool. So let's take a look at the visibility in the back. I actually see pretty good out there. You have the side glass there, pretty good size window directly out back, and the headrests don't really get in the way too much. Alright, so let me know what you think. It's a 2016 anniversary, 75th anniversary edition. First one I've ever seen. Really looks amazing. I'm impressed with it. And so let me know what you think. And thank you for watching, and thank you to Van Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle. And I'll see you guys next time.